What's up, everybody? Let's start off with some hip hop. Let's go. Young Rari. Look at that beat, man. Let's go. I've been listening to this shit, man. This for here, Chopper. This is AKA my, This ain't no different than a trend, And on the land, spit it with my twins. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck these niggas thought that I was playing? What these thought? That's the energy you need. What the fuck these niggas thought that I was playing? And it's like, yo, when I heard this shit, I've talked about this in other videos, but this is the kind of song you gotta make for your haters. I was a gonna hater, right? It's very easy to convert your haters into fans. You just gotta make, like, except for the Drake dick riders, you know, nothing can save them. But my point is, it's just music. If someone doesn't like your music because it's trash, it's whack, it's not made well, make a song that even someone who's like, I don't really listen to that person's music, but that song, bro, he went off, he went in, he made a great song for the hip hop audience. Until you make a song like this, you have not arrived. You do not exist in hip hop. This is something that people do not seem to understand. And I'm going to talk about this because of your boy, Tyler, the Creator. Okay? This guy does not exist in hip hop. Contrary to what you might think. No one knows a single song by this dude other than Yonkers, and that song was never it anyway. That was, what, 2010, 2011? I don't even remember when that shit came out. No one listens to that. No one is like, yo, throw on that Yonkers, right? This dude has no songs. He doesn't exist for the hip-hop audience. Now, for casuals, his little niche, goofy, oddball fan base, with all due respect to them, that's okay, but I don't listen to that shit. Most hip-hop heads don't listen to it. Right? And I would have ignored this dude. Frankly, do I know that he has a new album out? I see the comments. People be like, yo, Tyler got a new album out. And I was like, man, I'm good. I don't even like talking about this nigga. But, of course, like all trolls, I go to Hip Hop DX because I want to see what the latest hip-hop news is. And, oh, guess what? There's a giant splash that Tyler, the Creator, has paid, and I'm sure his management have paid to make sure that we all know, right? Trolling 101. If these people did not troll and put their their faces everywhere, like, look, I'm here, you know, I fuck guys, I'm weird, I'm gay. If they didn't do that constantly, no one would give a fuck. We wouldn't even know they're releasing anything. I saw on the one of the news things that they listed here about ASAP Rocky being in a wheelchair or whatever. It's a completely different situation. Look at ASAP. When ASAP Rocky is at an event, for example, his fans ask him, yo, when's the album coming out? We're begging for new music from A$AP Rocky. Very different. No one's begging for Tyler's new music. No one gives a fuck about Tyler. Really and truly. Until Tyler trolls his way or gets the right clout, the right person. It's usually Pharrell. Let's be honest here, because without Pharrell, he wouldn't be relevant anymore. Pharrell is like, maybe he's kissed up enough to Pharrell, and Pharrell's like, okay, fine. I'll put you on my album. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You're my mini-me. The whack version. But whatever, right? And then now it's like Tyler's out. But Tyler is trash. Trash. His music is fucking garbage. And again, I don't give a fuck about Tyler. But Tyler inserts himself into the conversation constantly. As all trolls do. But then when you call it out as, why are you so obsessed with trolling and not with making a single song that lasts, that has any replay value, all of a sudden I get gaslit into being, oh, you're a hater. You can't let the young niggas win. All this goofy shit. Let me say it flat out, as you already know. I am by far the best hip-hop critic on YouTube. By far. Respectfully. Okay? There's a couple of people. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds. I watch Doggy Diamonds. Doggy Diamonds is probably the only other person that, at least on some level, I'm like, yeah. Again, and I can have the conversation about Doggy Diamonds another day, because Doggy Diamonds has actually done some shit, right? Like he's put on, right? He's made beats. I've never made a beat in my life. Okay, so there are some things that Doggy Diamonds definitely has over me. I mean, he was there, he recorded big, and it's like he's done some shit. He's been in hip hop. So when I listen to Doggy Diamonds, I don't always agree, but at least I know that I'm listening to somebody that's not a fucking idiot, right? He understands hip hop on a basic level. Most of these people who talk on rap and all this stuff on YouTube do not understand this art form at all, and those are the people that are going to cover Tyler. Anyway, that was an aside like a motherfucker. But my point is this. You can't troll your way into hip-hop for decades. This guy, Tyler, has been around for, 2008, right? And it's always it's always a legend that allows these whack niggas to just exist. Like, Mos Def was the one that was like, oh, there's this new group, they're like the new Wu-Tang. And we were like, what the fuck? And then we listened to them and we're like, this is trash. But that's all they needed, right? Because they had I'm pretty sure they have Eminem's manager or something, or he's an Eminem guy, right? So it's like that. It's that white boy shit, that white boy skater oddball shit, right? And they just infiltrate this rap shit, and they made it corny as fuck, right? Now, again, you've had multiple chances to prove yourself, and I think we're starting to really see that a lot of these people that y'all were like, yeah, give him a shot, or we want to see the young person win. A lot of these people never had an ounce of talent. They were never going to make a great song. This is stuff that we saw back then, but when we called it out, y'all called us haters. We're in 2026 now. Tyler, the Creator, has just dropped another album, which I will not listen to, by the way. I've just said that. And I know that there's not a single dope song on there. I already know this because this is Tyler, the Creator. He does not care about hip-hop. He has said many times himself that he doesn't like the 90s rap albums, don't mean shit to him. Clearly, this is a guy that doesn't even like rap, right? You know that I typically go in on Kendrick Lamar. Tyler's even worse than Kendrick Lamar because Tyler really doesn't care. He's a white guy he's a white guy rapping in the grand scheme of things. That's who Tyler, the Creator, is. He's a corny white guy, not even just a white guy, because they're fly white guys. This is a corny white guy rapping. That's what Tyler, the Creator, is, right? He does not care. He has never made a single hip-hop record worth hearing. He doesn't want to. He just wants to be adjacent. His audience wants to be adjacent, and they want to troll hip-hop and basically kind of clown it low-key and just be like that guy that poo-poos on it and then go tee-hee-hee, and then he moves on, right? That's Tyler, the Creator. So enough of talking about this dude, but I just want to point this out. For those of y'all who've been asking me, yo, review Tyler. I'm not reviewing this motherfucker, right? I don't give a fuck about his music. And frankly, I really and truly do not care what he has to put out. But again, he has to present himself to hip-hop heads. He has to continually buy himself or buy his way through advertising and marketing just so that people can talk about him. Because that's how he operates, right? If it wasn't for this, giant ad, which I think to me is by far one of the most egregious things I've ever seen on this website. I've never seen somebody do that. Oh, but he has to do that again because you would not give a fuck. It's try hard. So moving the fuck on, right? Quavo. I saw this and I kind of chuckled because, again, I remember when y'all were dick riding the Migos and talking about, yo, the Migos, they got more snaps than the Beatles or whatever. I guess Drake said that. But the point is, the Migos remember when the Migos were getting hyped to high heaven and they were trash and we knew they were trash? Remember that? Oh, they got a new flow. They changed the game. All this stuff. I was like, what the fuck? Why are all these people using the same talking points, right? Of course, I learned over time that many of these things, these blogs and media personalities, they just take talking points to the record label. It's the same thing with the film game. Shout out to my man Eric Weber, Midnight Movie Talk, right? The film business and the music business are incestuous and they're very similar. I mean, they are very different, but they're also very similar, right? It's all just people dick riding and hyping up their own shit, right? In the grand scheme of things, and unfortunately, the music and the films have nothing to speak for now, right? It's okay. Like, I don't mind if you hype up your own stuff if it's dope, but if it's trash, like, what are we doing? And everyone is garbage? What's going on? Anyway, Quavo appears to be a huge Backstreet Boys fan. I know he's a huge Backstreet Boys fan. I called Migos the boy band rap. They're boy bands, right? They've been boy bands. Shout out to my gardener. Sorry. I'm living that lifestyle. I don't know if hopefully you don't hear the gardener too tough. But the point is, the Migos are a boy band. This is why I don't listen to boy band rapping ass niggas. I don't care what they have to put out. Their stuff was mostly garbage. They had a couple of songs. I mean, the Migos are better than Tyler, the Creator, any day of the week. But again, we know what that energy was. And then the next person comes up. Then the next person comes on. That's Backstreet Boys shit. I don't listen to the Backstreet Boys. I never have, never will. Okay, what's that song that they have? Everybody, yeah, that's cool. It's okay, but I'm not playing that in my car. I'm not. I'm not driving around listening to that shit. Come on, I'm a fly nigga. I'm not listening to Backstreet Boys. Not because I think that their music is. I'm scared to listen to the Backstreet Boys. It's not that. It's their shit don't hit like that. If I'm being honest with you, it just doesn't hit like that. Okay, I mean, I don't listen to R&B in general. I'm a rap dude. And if I were to listen to some R&B, I would listen to Monica or some shit or Aaliyah or whatever, right? Like, by the time I get to, I would have to, there's a lot of artists I'd have to bypass to get to the Backstreet Boys because their shit ain't hitting like that. And I say that with all due respect. I don't listen to Spice Girls. I'm not a Spice Girl, right? But some of these casuals, in fact, a fair amount of hip-hop casuals masquerading as hip-hop heads are full-blown Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys. And that's who Quavo appeals to, right? You should know this already. So again, it's interesting how these things get revealed, like obviously, if that makes sense. Now we're in 2025. It's like, oh yeah. Oh wow, he appears to be a huge Backstreet Boys fan. He's been a Backstreet Boy, yo. He was a Backstreet Boy in 2010. Okay, y'all just weren't paying attention. All right. So enough with these. Like hip hop is about hip hop. We absorb other genres, or we flip other genres, but there's a hip hop ethos. If you guys know, you know, right? But too often there are people who are essentially from other genres who are taking hip hop with them and taking it back to their genre. That's what the Migos are doing to a certain extent, and I don't like. I don't listen to that shit. They're using hip hop to be relevant when, frankly, they are pop, or in Tyler the Creator's context, maybe some kind of underground nerd punk oddball shit, and they're using hip hop and vulturing hip hop to stay relevant. But in fact, no one in the hip hop audience, the core hip hop audience, really gives a fuck about them, right? Because they know that if Quavo, for example, deep down knows that if he wanted to be Sabrina Carpenter, he's gonna have to compete with Sabrina Carpenter, and that's a whole different conversation. That's a lot tougher. So what he can do is he can pretend to be a real hip-hop rapper, I guess, or whatever. He can pretend to be the next generation of great rappers because the bar's low as fuck, and he can get the right cosign, Drizzy, shout out to the Canadian, and then he's on. But deep down, this dude is not interested in hip-hop. He's never made a great hip-hop song in his life. That's just the truth. Anyway, some shots fired today. Unk is getting grumpy, I guess, right? Love y'all. This wasn't even supposed to be the topic I wanted to talk about, but that's how it is, right? That's what it is about trolling. These trolls, they can never, they just pop up. And again, like Jim Jones, shout out to Jim Jones, but you have to understand trolling is a business now. Trolling has been a business for a while, but it is a business, okay? It's not like they're not relevant because we just happen to think about them or whatever. They are, in fact, they're actually not relevant. But the point is they are buying ads. They are buying clout. They're buying cosigns. Okay? And I guess it's the nature of the game, but it's annoying as fuck. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.